as we know, basically up to here we discuss about the HTML and CSS, and we discuss about the VS Code. So now there is the one thing we discuss about the VS Code. So VS Code is available in an offline form. Are you getting my point? So here we install the VS Code in the local system, and then what happens? Suppose if you want to deploy that code, in the real time, then what happened? We need a server. So we need to deploy that code on the server. So obviously, if you want to deploy the code on the server, and then we need that code as well on the cloud. We need to store that code on the cloud-based architecture, or we can say in the cloud-based repository. So here what will be happen? Using that repository, cloud-based repository, we are able to deploy our code. So the general scenario, what happens generally in the development, what happens? We will develop the code with the help of the IDE, integrated development environment. That may be VS Code, that may be Eclipse, that may be IntelliJ IDEA, any kind of the thing. Then what happens? We will push our code. On the repository. We'll push our code on the repository. So in the repository, what happened? We will get some kind of the benefit. We are able to collaborate. That code. Collaborate means at the same time multiple developer are able to code that code, or we can say they are able to work on that code. And the second one, what happened? We will get the source to deploy that code across this server. So now if you want to do that kind of the things, then what happened? We need a VCS, version control system. So what we required? We required a version control system. So basically this is the version control system. So if I want to define the version control system, so this I can say, so it's allow developer to store the data on the cloud platform, and is allowed to do the collaboration. And that is allowed to track the version of the code, then is allowed to do the changes, online changes. It allowed to change the different kinds of the things in the code. So now if you want to understand the version control system, basically we have a two version system. First one, we have a local VCS. So for that example, we have a Git. So now basically we have, if you want to use the local version system, then what happens? We need to install that in our system. That's we call the standalone application. I think everyone know about this one. So that's we call the standalone application. So if we install any kind of application in our system, that we call the local system. So now, so here first one, what happens? If you want to deploy our code on the cloud platform, then what happens? First one, we need a local VCS. So that's why we have, for example, Git. And then second one, what happened? We need a cloud-based VCS, version control system, and that's we have a GitHub. So now see, just the simple difference between the Git and GitHub. Git, we have a local repository, that's we call the Git, and if you have a cloud-based repository, that we call the GitHub. And here I will already give you some picture. This is some famous VCS example. So first one, we have a Git. So we can say nowadays maximum developer use the Git and GitHub as the VCS. And then we have a Mercurial, then we have a subversion, we have a monotone, we have a CVS, we have different kinds of the version control system. But along with that, we are going to use the Git. I think everyone get the idea up to here. Now we will move toward the next slide. So now what is the GitHub? So I'm already told you that GitHub is the cloud-based host repository. Repository means just you can consider as the folder, or you can just consider as the drive. Repository means in that folder, what happened? We are going to store the all code files. That may be .html file, .css file, .javascript file, maybe some kind of the readme file, emd file, some env file, environment file. So we'll discuss that all files. So some will be JSON file. We are going to store the each and every file in that repository. So first we will develop the code. We will develop the program with the VSS code, and then what happens? We will store that into the Git repository. And then see this version control. which is used for the collaboration. And they give the some kind of history. It is developed by, it is founded in the 2008, and then now this is the become the central hub for the developer to share and contribute on the project. And then what about the GitHub? GitHub as the hosting the server on the GitHub repository. So using the GitHub, we are able to deploy, or we can say host. We are able to hosting the web page as well. So that is the two things. So if we install the, if we use the GitHub version control system, then what happens? We will get the cloud hosting support as well. So now here, some they will give the some benefit of the using the GitHub. So basically, if you use the GitHub, then we have a majorly three. Uh, what we say, we will say the three benefit. One first one, this one we will get the collaboration. So means multiple. So we can see the one example. So now this one is the central repository. Just 1 minute, I will take the pen. So now we can consider, okay, this was my GitHub account, and on this GitHub account, I have one demo repo. And now this one is available on the central repository. And now in this repository, what happened? Suppose this one is the developer one. Developer one also able to perform the task, integration, changing kind of the things, modification. Developer two also able to perform that kind of the operation. So means what happened? That's we call the collaboration. So means more than one developer are able to perform the work at the same time on a same code. So that's we call the collaboration. Yeah, don't worry. We will share the, yeah, we will share the PPT as well. We will share the recorded video as well. So now I'm already told you that key each and every content you will get on the LMS. That is the learning management system. I will discuss that thing. Don't worry. And you will get that all thing on the LMS only. And then here, see, this one is the open source. GitHub is the open source. Means if we want to use the GitHub, no need to pay the any kind of the things, or no need to pay the any kind of the amount toward the any kind of the authority. That's we call the open source. So in the GitHub, we have basically two kind of the options. Some paid services also available. If you want to purchase the paid services, then we can able to purchase the paid services as well. So now just I will tell you the one thing. So if I want to deploy the static application, then yes, we are able to deploy that using the free version. But if you want to deploy the full stack kind of the application, or if you want to host the full stack kind of application, then obviously we need to pay the some kind of the amount toward the cloud vendors. You know? So now then that is the open source. So basically for the student, for the practicing, we are able to deploy the maximum static kind of the code using the GitHub. So that's why this is the open source. And here we are able to manage the project. So manage the project. For that, what happened? We have one commit option. We have one commit command. So using the commit command, what happened? We are able to track the code. So now suppose here what happened? We will establish the version number 1 for our code. And then what happened? We will commit this code. And then again, after the sometime, what happened? During this period, we will create the version number 2, and then we will commit that version number 2 as well. So now see here what happened. When we commit the version number 1, that time what happened? We will get the date, we will get the all kind of the things. So which file we will update, which file is we need to update, that all track will be available in that version control system. Then what happened? So easily we are able to track where is my version 1, and what I perform the changes from the version 1 to version 2. So that is the, we will get that kind of the things into the project management. Hai na? So it's to support the agile methodology and integrate with the other projects. So I think everyone already, we Huma ma'am already discussed that what is the agile model, agile agile model. है ना? So now we were able to use the VCS into the this form. So we'll get the collaboration, we'll get the open source, and we'll get the project management. So basically, this is about the benefit of the using the GitHub. So now Git versus the GitHub. So now here we are going to, in this session, we are going to learn about the two things. First one is the Git and second one is the GitHub. So now see, if we install the application on the local, if we install this one on the local, so that what we call the, that we installed in the locally. And this GitHub that is hosted on the cloud platform. And then this first release in 2005, it is released in 2008. So now this is maintained by the Linux. This is purchased. So basically this also Git and GitHub is developed by the same developer, but now GitHub is purchased by the Microsoft. And GitHub is the cloud-based VS control service. And then this is primarily the command line tool. And here we will get the graphical user interface. In the GitHub, we'll get the graphical user interface. And see here, in this will be provide the one graphical user interface into the in our operating system. So we will see that thing as well, how to use this graphical user interface. And so now here no user management feature, and here what happened, we will get the built-in manager feature. And then this is the common kind of the things, and this is also the open source license. And here we have a two option. Someone can use the pay as per requirement, and someone can use in the free format as well. So this is the difference between the GitHub and Git and the GitHub. So now without wasting so much time on the theory, directly we can do the one thing. We will see the how to create the account on the GitHub, and then second thing we will see the how to download the Git. Anyone have a difficulty up to here?
Actually, Rishikesh, they have asked like what are the free and paid GitHub or the hosting websites.
No
So I've
issues. So
suggested
basically, yes,
render
we
and
will do
Netlify.
that thing as well. I'm not
Okay.
getting that question actually. So generally here, what happened? Just 1 minute. I'm just sharing the screen. So generally here what happens, so using the GitHub, we are able to deploy the static web application. We are able to deploy the static web application. But here, if you want to deploy the any kind of the full stack application, then what happen? We need to take the free paid account. So we can use the GitHub as well as we have a other platform as well. We can use the Azure cloud. We can use the AWS, Amazon Web Services. We have this kind of the option as well. So generally in the general scenario, what happened? We will use them for the static. If you want to deploy the static application, then we use the GitHub. And if you want to deploy the full stack kind of the application, then we have different kind. We have a render, we have a trail, we have a Microsoft Azure, we have AWS. We can use this kind of the things as well. There will be no issue. Yes, ma'am. Meher, ma'am. So I think everyone get this idea. So now just we will go through the account, how to create the account on the GitHub. So now I'm opening my browser. Now we can search for the GitHub login. We can search for the GitHub login. You can click on the GitHub login. So if anyone don't have any kind of account in the GitHub, they can create the account as well. So now see here. So now here, just I'm sharing this one, the chat, so everyone can create the account along with me. So now just you need to click on the sign up. So if we click on the sign up, then what happen? Here we'll get this kind of the window. So we're able to create the account. So now just you can add your mail ID. So just I'm adding the mail ID and continue. You can create the password. But here what happened? I have already the account on the GitHub. That's why I'm not going to create the account on the GitHub. So directly I can open my GitHub account itself. So can just anyone give me a thumbs up how many people have account on the GitHub? So here is the link. If anyone want to download the GitHub account, then they can use this one link. So can we get the rough idea how many people have GitHub account? Okay, no issue. Then what happened? So here after the creating the account, so here just now I'm logging into my GitHub account. So now just you can search the GitHub and then you can click on the login. So now I'm already logging in the account. So just I can do the logout once or I can do the login. Okay. So now just what I'm doing, I'm doing the sign out. So now just see, you will get this kind of the window. Now you can click on the sign in. And now just I'm writing my mail ID and now I'm writing my password as well. I'm clicking on this sign in. So now see here what happened. I will get my GitHub account. So in the GitHub account, so basically, so if you get any kind of difficulty, then what we need to just we need to click on the profile and just you can click on the our profile. So here we'll get the our main profile. So in the main profile, you can see that this kind of the section. I have a repository, I have a package, we have this kind of the option. So first one, what happened? So if you want to push the code, then what happened? We need to create the repository. So I think everyone done up to here, then we'll discuss that later, how to create the repository. So I hope everyone get the answer. Bora ma'am. Okay, so can we continue? So now then what happened after the getting the GitHub? So now here what happened? If now I want to push the code from the VS Code to GitHub, then what happened? Our computer need to understand the command, the git command. So for that, what I'm writing, just I'm using the command prompt. I'm using the command prompt. So now in my command prompt, I'm checking the one thing. I'm checking the one thing. So now in this, I'm writing here git hyphen version. What I'm writing git hyphen version. So now see here in my system, I'm getting this one version. So now, but if you try this kind of the comment in your system, then what happen? Maybe you will not get this kind of the version. Why? Because so first, if you want to use this command in our system, then what happen? We need to install the git. Git is the local VCSC. Here, what happened? We need to install the Git. Git bash. We'll get the Git bash. This is the command prompt, and you will get the Git GUI. See, now this one is by the Git command prompt. So now we can use this same command here. So now what I'm writing here, Git hyphen version. So now here what happened in my system? What have I have a sorry, we need to give the space. Git hyphen version. So now here what happened? We get the version, or you can use the git only hyphen v as well. So now here what happened? We will get the git hyphen version in our system. So now here, if you want to get this one, then what happened? What we required? We required the git local repository in our system. So for that, what I'm doing, just we need to download the git. So now just search. Just we are going to search about the git download. Yes, sir. Any difficulty?
मधु स्मिता हाँ
Others, sir, kindly mute yourself.
पागल है ना ये वही तो बात कर रहा था
Okay. So now here what happened? We need to click on the git download, and then I'm clicking on the download. So now see, I'm already shared the link in the chat box. So here what happened? You can click. I'm again sharing this one. Suppose someone is not, someone is still remain to the download. Then what happened? They can download as well. So now here Just download the GitHub. So now see here what I'm doing. So just I want to download for the Windows. If you have Mac OS, you can download for the Mac OS. If you have Windows, you can download the Windows. So now I have a Windows operating system. So that's why I'm just clicking the download for the Windows. Just click on the download for the Windows. And here you will get the accordingly. If you have 32-bit system, then you can download 32-bit. So now I have a 44-bit. So that 64-bit. What happened? So for that, what happened? Just clicking on the 64-bit. So now after clicking on the 54-bit here, what happened? After the one to see here, we'll get the downloading. So now see, you can see in the download, it is the downloaded. Now I can check my download. And in download, what I get the Git version is the 2.6400. Hai na? So now just I can do the one thing. I will go into the control panel. Because in my system already I have GitHub. See, already in the program files, because I'm already installed that GitHub. Sorry, I'm already installed the Git. So now see here in my program, what happened? I'm getting the Git. Now I'm going to uninstall that. So because I want to told you that how to install the Git as well. So now just I'm clicking on the uninstall and then yes. Just click on the yes, then it will take a little bit time and that will be the uninstall. So now uninstall complete. Now you can see in the control panel, I'm not getting the Git. Now, if I'm executing the Git command in the command prompt. So now just again, I'm opening the command prompt, CMD. Now you can see, suppose now here I'm writing the Git hyphen version. So now here what happened? See, now what happened? What I'm getting the Git is not recognized as an internal or external command. I can write the Git hyphen version as well. Now see what happened, what I'm getting, I'm not getting the Git in my system. Why? Because I'm already uninstalled, or you can say now in my system, I don't have a Git. So now I think maximum people will getting only this kind of the output. This output Git is not available. So now here what happened? Now we are going to install the Git in our system. So for that, just so now you can search in the search bar. So if I'm trying to search the Git and Git bash, now see I'm not getting the any kind of the things. Just I'm getting the GitHub. Now I'm not getting the Git GUI, or I'm not getting the Git bash as well. See, I'm not getting the any kind of the things. So now I'm going to install the Git. So now just we need to double click. I think you know about that, how to install the Git. So just we need to click the simply next. So now just here, do you allow this make to change? Just click on the yes. And then just we need to accept the license and each and that kind of the things. So now just you can just read the term and condition. So now see here, we are getting in the C drive in the program files, we are getting the Git folder. So now here what happened, we'll get the local VCS version control system in that Git folder only. Now you can click on the next. And then see here we have already existed file, because in my system I already GitHub tha mere isme, that I'm deleted this one. That's why this folder is already created in my system. So now just I'm using the this path only. So now just to click on the yes, and now just on the desktop, just I want to shortcut on the desktop as well. So now just that's why I'm selecting this one. So now click on the next. Then here what happened on the browser, we need a Git, and so click on the next, and then click on the next, and it just instead of the taking the this one option, I'm writing the override option. So override with the main branch. So now just done. So here will we get the main branch or master branch. So just I'm saying just everyone take the main branch only. We can use the master branch or we can use the another branch only. There will be no issue. So what is the branch? What is the main? What is the origin? We're going to learn about that things into the upcoming session. So now just click on the next. and just click on the next. Or you can say, okay, the from the command and also from the third party software. Yes, I want to use the third party software as well. So now just click on the next and they use the OpenSSH. Okay, just click on the next, click on the next, use 3TY, click on the next, 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 and enable the experience support of the sudo console. So if you want to console, then you can use the console as well and just to click on the install. It will take a little bit time and it will be installed. So in the meantime, can anyone told me how many people are downloading the Git? How many faculties have Git in a system? Just you can give me the thumbs up, no issue. Or you can write down the chat box. Yes, we have a Git and we have a GitHub account. Then we'll get the clarity. Yes, we are already installed. Very good, sir. So it will take a little bit time. Yeah, very good, Jitin sir. So now launch a Git bash and you can click on the finish. You can click on the finish. Now see here what happened. So Git bash is launched in my system. So now I am again checking the version git hyphen version. So now you can click on the enter. Now here, what happened? I have a Git version. So now you can do the in the command prompt as well. Just we can search the git hyphen version. We have a two command. You can use the git hyphen version, or we can use only the git to v. Now, sorry, we will open the command prompt again. Git hyphen version. So now see here what happened. We'll get the version. So I hope everyone done up to here about the version. Now the second thing, how to add the things into the GitHub. So now for that, just I'm doing the one thing. Here in the workspace, I'm just creating the one workspace. So now I can give the name new. I'm writing here day one workspace. I'm writing here day one workspace. Okay. Naming this one day one workspace. So now here what happened? We'll get the day one workspace. Now I'm going to open this one in the VS Code. So now just you can click on the right click and show more option, and we can click on the VS Code. So now what happened? We'll get this will open with the VS Code as well. We can just you can click on the trust to author. And now just here what happened, I'm going to create the one file. Just I'm creating the simple index.html. I'm creating one index.html. I'm going to create the index.html.
Rishikesh, sorry to interrupt you. Some are raising their hands.
But I think I'm already asked that if there is any question, but I'm not getting any kind of the response. I think they raised the hand mistakenly. Bora
Okay.
ma'am, not getting any kind of response. Viju sir, Vijji sir.
So if you have
which
any
is
question, you can also put it in the chat box if the mic is not working properly.
yeah, no issue.
Okay, thanks. You can continue.
Okay. So now see where we are. So now here what happened? We create down index.html. So now just I'm creating the basic structure for the index.html. So now I'm just using the emit. Here what happened? I have get the basic structure, and now here I'm writing here index page. I'm writing here index page, and then I'm writing here h1. Hello in a index page. So now see, I want to push, or we can say I want to put that code into the GitHub. So now for that, what happened? So we need to follow the three things. We need to follow the three things. So what is the three things? So just 1 minute. Here, first we need to init the code, means we need to initialize the code. Then after that, we need to add the files. We need to add the files. And then after that add, we are going to commit that files. And then after the commit, what happened? We are going to push that files. So this is the flow. First one, initialize the files, or we can say initialize the Git repository. Then just add this file to the Git repository, and this commit this file to the Git, and then push that into the GitHub. We are going to follow these things. So now see, if I want to initialize the Git repository, now you can see in the workspace, we don't have any kind of the Git folder. We don't have any kind of things. Right? So now for that, what I'm going to do, I'm going to create the repo, Git repo into the local VCS. So now for that, just we can go into the terminal and just click on the new terminal. So now after clicking the new terminal, so now that is the good thing with the VS Code. We can execute the Git command in the VS Code as well. So now if you want to see that things, then what happened? What I'm writing here, see Git hyphen version. So means we are able to execute the Git command in the VS Code also. So now first one, what happened? I want to create the local repository. I want to initialize the local repository where into the Git. So for that we have a command. That command we call the git init. We have a command git init. Now just to write down the command git and init and just click on the enter. So now after writing the git command, so now see here. So here initialize the empty git repository in the man fdb workspace and the .git. You can see here I will get the one structure. In that what happen? I will get the this one .git. So this one is the repository, the local repository. Now here what happened? We create the local repository. And when I create a local repository, here you can see in the index you will get the U. We will get this U option. We will get this U option. So U stand for the untracked file. U stand for the untracked file. So in the GitHub, we have this kind of these files. So in the GitHub, if you are going to learn about the Git or GitHub, then we'll get this kind of the status. First one, we will get the untracked file. Untracked file. Then we'll get the modified file. We'll get the modified file, and we'll get the unmodified file. And okay, we'll get this, and then we'll get the staged. We'll get this kind of the 4 file. We'll get this kind of the 4 file. Untracked, modified, unmodified, and then what we get? We'll get the stage. So we'll get this kind of the file. So now here what happened? U stand for the untracked. So why we are getting the untracked? Because this file is still not tracked. So now you can, if you want to see the status, then we have one option. So we can write down here git status. We can write down here git status. So now you can see the status. So in the status, what happened? See here. For the index.html, what is getting? This is the untracked file. What are we getting? We are getting the untracked file. We are getting the untracked file because still हमने यहाँ तक क्या किया? Is in the git init. We create the repository, local repository, but we still not add this index.html file in this repository. So now here what happens? Second thing, what we need to do after the init, we need to add the file. Second thing, what we need to do? We can do the one thing. And use the notepad. So here we will get the good idea. So first one, what we do? The first step, here what happen? In init, we will use the init. What we use? Init to initialize the local repository. Then after that, what happened? We need to add the file. We need to add the file. Step 2, what happened? We need to add the files. We need to add the files, or we can say we need to add the file. So now see, in our program, what we have only one file. So now here what happened? The second thing, we are going to add this file. So if I want to add this file, then we have a command git add. What happened? We have a git add. Just 1 minute, I will just clear the screen. CLS, you can use the CLS. Now here what happened? We have a git add. We have a git add, and then we need to write down the file name index.html. What I'm writing? I'm writing the git add index.html. Now just click on the enter. See, after clicking on the enter, now see, यहाँ पे untracked हो गया change. Now here what we get? We get the A. A means add. File is added. Now you can see the status. I can write down the git status. What I'm writing here? Git status. Now see here. What happened? So here all file is added, or this one is the A means unstage file. Are you getting my point? This file is added, but still we are remain to push this onto the local repo. We are still remain to push to the into the repo. So now you will turn up to here. Now again, what can I do? I will create the one another file. I'm just writing suppose style.css. I'm just writing style.css, and in the style I'm writing here P. I'm writing here background color. I'm writing here background color, and then here I'm suppose I'm writing here red. Okay, I will take, and then I will take the border. Border, we can say 2px solid black. Okay, now here what happened? We take the CSS file as well. Now just I'm pressing the Control S. Now see, for the A, what we get? We get the staged and unstaged. And here in the CSS, whatever we get the untracked. Whatever we're getting, we're getting the untracked. Now, if you want to see the status, so you can write down here git status. You can write down the git status. Now here what happened? See, we'll get the two different states for this file. So now see, here index.html is the unstage, means we are ready to push this code, push this one into the code. And then second one, what happened? We have a style.css. This one is the committed. So now this one is the under track. So means we are able to add this file. So now this, I want to add this file again. Then what we can do? So just I'm writing clear screen. So here what happened? What I'm writing here? Add. What I'm writing here? Add. And sorry, here we need to write down the git add and then file name style.css. And now we click on the enter. Now see, this file is added. Now then we can able to add the multiple type file at the same time. Now here what happened? So in the index, what I'm doing, just I'm doing the one changes. I'm writing here h2. We are in faculty development program, and in the style also, just you can press the Control S. And now see, here we'll get the yum. For that I will get the one yum, and then suppose I'm writing here margin. I'm writing here margin equal to 0. So what I'm taking, I'm taking margin equal to 0, and I'm pressing the Control S. Now here what happened? So here also we get the yum for the modified. So means if we modify any kind of the file and we does not push, or we can say we does not add this file in the git, for that what we get? We'll get the yum. Now I'm adding the one another file. So suppose I'm writing here home.html. So for the home.html, what we get? We get the untracked. We'll get the untracked. So now just I'm writing the code. Just I'm writing here h1 in a home file. What I'm writing here in a home file. So now save. So now see here what happened. We'll get the different kind of the file status. This one under track, modified, modified, and so now here what happened? We are able to add the multiple files at the same time. Now here these three files are to add the one time. So if I'm writing the each and every file name one by one, it will what will be happen? It will take the lot of time. So because in the generally what happen in the real time, what happen? We create the n number of files in the code. So now here what I'm writing here, add, just what we need to write down the git add and space dot. What is use of this command? If I want to add the multiple files into the git, then what happened? What we use the git space add space dot, and just you can click on the enter. So now see, now here यहाँ पे what happened? We have a modified, we have modified, और यहाँ पे था untracked. Now here what we are getting? We are getting the staged, added, and this one also added. So I hope everyone get the idea up to here. So this is about the how to add the file into the Git. Everyone done? Everyone get the idea up to here? Sorry. Just anyone can give me the thumbs up. So initially what we use the first one git init. What we use git init. And then second one what we use git add, this command git add dot. So here what happened? Thank you, sir. So here whatever we get the git add. So now this one is added. Now here what happened? We need to commit. We need to commit means, so if you want to for that what happened? So this is the second step. So here if I want to explain that things in the proper manner. So now here what we can say. So now the things. So the things during the engagement and the marriage. Here what happened? So during the engagement and marriage, what happened? So now here what happened? Initialize. First one, people will initialize the marriage kind of the things. Then what happened? The phase between the engagement and marriage, that we call the commitment. You know? So now, so here we have the phase. First one, we have a phase from the add to push. So before pushing the code, then what happened? We need to commit this code. We need to commit this code. See here in the commit, what happened? What we said, ki yes, I'm ready to push this code and this is my file. So if I want to do any kind of the changes, then I am able to do the changes on this stage only. Are you getting my point? So if you want to break the marriage, then we can break the marriage after the engagement. But if we married once, then what happened? We need to take the divorce. So this is the just fun kind of the things. So now here we need to understand that this thing. So between the add and between the push, what happened? We need to commit the code to the git. So means there will be the, so this code is my 99%. This code is the correct. But maybe there will be some changes will be happen. Then I can make that changes. Okay, no? So now then after that we'll commit, we will push the code. So for the committing, what we have a commit command. We have a commit command. So now you can use this. We can use this commit command as well. So now if I want to use commit, then here what happened? We write down the git. What we write down? Git commit. Git commit, then yum for the main branch. And then I'm writing here, we need to write down the one message.
Sir, excuse me, sir.
Add
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir.
home. Yes, ma'am.
Sir, could you please increase the font size? It's not.
For of the
visible.
VS Code. Okay, ma'am. Now, just 1 minute. I hope visible to everyone. Now visible, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
So now here what happened? Now I'm giving the commit. In the commit, we are going to give the message. So what I'm writing message key, I'm adding the add home, index, and style files. So I'm giving this message कि just add the, just commit कि हमें add करना है. I want to add the home, index, and style file. So now just click on the enter. Git commit.
hyphen M.
Yeah. Commit spelling, I think spelling for the commit. Just 1 minute, we can do the one thing.
போன வாரமே சொல்லிட்டேன். circular எடுத்து அததான் சொல்லிட்டு இருந்தேன். இல்ல அது அப்படிதான் வைப்பாங்க அவங்க. followed by
This one command.
பழசுக்கு போய் மாட்டோம். அப்படியே உட்காந்துரும். புதுசா
So
மட்டும் வைக்க
get to
வேண்டியது.
commit. Yeah, I think my spelling was mistake. So there is the no E into the commit. There is no E into the commit. Sorry. So now see here, you can see. Now here we can see the message. Key 3 files change, and here what happened? We inserted the index.html, create the index.html, create the home.html, and create the C style.css. Sorry, this time here in the commit, we no need to write down the E. For the commit, what is the spelling? COMMIT. So now I can share this one into the chat box as well. So now we committed the code. So now here what happened? We are done with the code commit. So now then here we need to do the one thing. Now
Sir,
this one, yes ma'am.
sir, it is asking for user identity, author identity unknown.
Yes ma'am, I am just, can you share your screen? Yes, I'm got your point. So now see here in the repo, when you executing the VS Git first time now, then here they will ask the one things. Ki just integrate the VS Code with the Git. You are getting the same message, ma'am?
Yeah, user identity unknown, and it is asking for email.
Can you share your screen if possible?
Share பண்றது to share it. Sharing.
Otherwise, you can share the screenshot. We will resolve that problem definitely, ma'am.
Okay.
Now, after the commit, what we need to do? We need to create the GitHub account. We need to create the GitHub repository on the GitHub. So now here, what happened? Up to here, we discuss about that.
Sir, I have shared the screen.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. The email address. Okay. So now here, ma'am, you can do the one thing. So now just I'm just executing one command to git config list. My screen is visible. Git config list hyphen list. Yeah, just spelling git config list. Now see in this git config list here, you can see in the bottom here what you are getting user email. You are getting the my email ID only.
Okay.
Are you getting my point, ma'am? And here I'm
yes,
you are getting the username.
Yeah,
Rishi @93.
Yeah, I'm also
so now
getting
here,
my
if
email.
you want to integrate your mail ID, then what we need to do? Here we have one command, ma'am. So now here we need to write down the git. What we write down the git config. First one, if you are not getting the mail here, then what happened? We need to write down the git config. Git config hyphen global. You need to write down the hyphen global. Then you need to write down the user dot name. You need to write down the user dot name. User dot name. And here you need to write down the GitHub account name. So now in this, for me, so now you can see my GitHub account. See here, I have a name as the Rishi 93. So you can, if I click on the profile, So now see here what happened. Username is the 93. So here we are able to add the username. And then second thing, just you can write down the username and just click on the insert. And then you need to write down the user mail. You need to write down the user mail, and in the double quotation you need to write down the mail ID. This one is the my mail ID. You need to write down the your mail ID one. Then you can click on the enter, and after clicking on the enter, you can check again the config list. You can change again the config list. Config hyphen list. Now I will get the mail and the mass or mail ID and the name inside the Git. Now working properly, ma'am?
1 minute.
Author identified uncloned because we need to add the mail ID as well.
Sir, git config, then what command?
Don't worry, I will share that in the chat box.
Git config done.
Yeah. Just one minute, I will share the chat.
So I have done
Git
config.
config, yes. Git hyphen global, and then we need to write down the user dot email and then your mail ID.
Oh,
I think only mail.
mail.
Here we email, and then you need to write down your mail ID. @jobihai.xyz.com. Just you need to execute this command. Git config. And then for the name as well. So we can search the git config command. So here we have documentation as well. If you get any kind of difficulty, see, we can just refer the documentation as well. We'll get the each and every solution in the documentation. So I can share the documentation as well. So now this one is C. In the documentation, we'll get the both command.
All right.
Got it, ma'am?
Yes, sir. File added. Thanks, sir.
No issue. You can use this one, or if still you get any difficulty, you can put the difficulty in the chat box. Definitely, we will resolve that. So now see here what happened. So here we push the all code into the local Git. Now here I want to push second thing, I want to push that code into the GitHub. So now here what happened, we can go into the GitHub, and then here we can go on to the profile. And in that I'm going to create the repository. So now just we need to click on the repository. And then I'm going to create the new repository. I'm going to create the new repository. And in this new repository, I'm just giving the name demo SDP website. I'm just giving the name demo SDP website. So now just description. If you want to add the description, you can add the description. This is a demo website. This one is the demo website. Just make it as the public. So now just click on the create repository. If you want to add the readme file, then you can add the readme file. Otherwise, just you can just leave this one. So now here just click as the make as the public, and just you can click on the create repository. So my repository is created. So now see here what we get, demo SDP website. You got this point. I hope everyone done with the repository creation. Okay. Now here, whatever we create the repository. Now I want to push the code into the repository. What happened? I want to push the code into the repository. So now if you want to push the code, so now see here, we will get some instruction. See, we are already execute the git init. We are already execute this first commit command. Now here, what happened? We need to integrate with the, so now just you can do the one thing, just copy this command. Then just paste this command. So just what I'm doing the clear screen. And now I'm pasting this command over here. So here what were we are just putting our all file into the origin. What happened? Git add the remote origin. And what is the origin? I'm saying ki this one is the my origin repository. So now I'm going to add the file into this particular repository.
Rishikesh,
Yes.
sorry to interrupt you. It's already 3:15. So what we can do is we can stop till here and then we will continue by tomorrow morning. Okay? Is that
Okay,
fine?
no issue. Yeah, no issue.
All right,
Can I
thank
complete
you.
this within the 2 minute first one?
We
So then we
actually,
will, if everyone is comfortable, just what we can do, just we will push the one code on the GitHub and then we will give the one
Rishikesh,
home activity.
actually just stop your screen and just check the Teams.
Okay. Okay, no issue, ma. So we can stop over here today and remain portion we'll discuss in the next session in the tomorrow. Okay, we can do the one thing tomorrow, start with the GitHub, then we will move toward the JavaScript. It is okay?
Yes, yes. Okay. That's
Okay,
a
no
great
issue.
idea.
Thank you and sorry, I will take the 15 minute.
That's fine. So tomorrow onwards we'll be completing
Okay.
within
tomorrow
3 o'clock.
we will meet on the sharp 10. First, we will take the session on the Git, then we will conclude the session, no issue. And then we will start the JavaScript.
Sure. Thank you.
I
Thank you,
can share the
Rishikesh
plan
and
in
all
the
the
WhatsApp
faculties.
as well. There will be no issue.
Yes, I will share all the details
Yeah.
and you can share the comments which you have. Huh?
Yeah, yes, no
Sir,
issue.
how to open the LMS? I couldn't access LMS.
Kalyani ma'am, don't worry. We will have a session, okay, regarding this LMS, maybe by tomorrow. Okay. So you will get all the access,
Okay.
recording and the content, everything.
No, okay.
You know? As of now, today, PPT and the other details I'll be sharing in the WhatsApp group. And Rishikesh sir will share the comments for the GitHub. Okay. You can practice
Yes.
today. And small task for everyone. Just take this portfolio page and change the portfolio according to your education and the projects and then upload it in the GitHub. Try to upload it. Okay, we'll see tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining all the faculties. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.